the world is getting to a place where we have the third dimension, when you have density. The third dimension is all density, and the way was explained that we have multi worlds going on, and so you have density here, and then you have the fifth dimension here, and there's light strands that are connected to. And that's fourth dimension. But what's happening? The fifth dimension is pulling away like this, and those people who are working on themselves, working on their egoic mind, learning how to calm their mind down, because it's impossible to shut it off, because it's there to help you. Your program, your mind is there to help you be in the physical, right? You need this, right? How to cook, how to do stuff, how to drive, all this other stuff, right? But your higher self is the soul that made the decisions to come down into this body to have the experience. And in the density, we put the blinders on, we cut ourselves off of that in third dimension. So now, man created all this, what we have, our society and all the rules, and people have to work, and you have to work hard, and all these crazy rules that you control. I mean, everything is, you got to be the winner, the first one. I got to beat this one, and the fifth dimension is all about harmony and living in kumbaya, everybody living. And then if you have a third dimensional mind, you say that's crazy, that's impossible, right? Of course, because if you think only in your program, and that's all you know, and that's all you can see, all this woo-woo stuff of spiritual love and be kind and love your neighbor and we're all one and all that kind of stuff, doesn't equate. But as you start allowing to download your higher self and learning through meditation or going for walks or whatever you do to be in a passionate state, because that's the key. Imagination and being in a passionate state to be able to connect to the higher realms, or to who you really are. The person who writes songs, the artist, the dancer, the musician, the magic of life, right? When you get in the zone and things start happening, that's the real you, that's the real soul, that's the God power that comes in. The other mundane stuff that we learn in 3D, how farmers plant all this crop and they kill the earth. So what they do is they plant this season, and then the next season they leave that alone. They move on to another piece of property, because they have to they have to let the property they just mowed down to create all this stuff, they have to let it grow again before, and it's not a natural, cohesive way of farming, or the way we do with animals, in the cages and all that. It's negative. It's the frequencies. The circle of life is not there. It's not moving together. So what's happening now is the fourth dimension and the third dimension and fourth dimension are starting to separate, and eventually it's going to separate. So what does that mean? That means that the souls that are only 3D and they don't believe in none of this stuff, they'll stay in chaos. They'll stay in this kind of world, right? And we'll also stay in this world, the ones with the higher, seeking the higher frequency, fifth dimension, but we'll separate and create our own way of seeing things. And you could think about it this way: like, we live on the earth, but if you go to Glastonbury, those people live more in harmony than we do here in San Diego. Everybody's fighting to get on the freeway, and you say hello to somebody, they don't even look at you. Everybody's listening to the news and listening to all the crap that's going on with the government, and everybody blames outside themselves. It's the government's fault. It's Congress' fault. It's the bank's fault. Instead of going inside and asking yourself, what can you do and what can you change in yourself to bring inspiration into your life, and the connection of magic, like creation, music, love, whatever that is, whatever your passion is, bringing that in, and now you live in synchronicity with the love universe, the higher frequency, the fifth dimension, and you'll create your own world. People are waking up. The new kids who are being born They're coming in different, and they know better. Not like when we were growing up. I'm a product of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Uh, they used to beat us into submission back at that time. The boxers were so strong that if you didn't believe their way, they used to physically beat you, right? And when I had my family and the new families, they don't do that anymore because that's barbaric to do that. We understand that today, and then time is moving faster, so we're changing quicker and quicker. So what's happening in the world right now? You have the old energy still trying to bring us back to 1940, holding on to the old way of doing things. The new kids that are coming in, they don't care about titles. They don't care if you're male, female, straight. It doesn't matter to them. They're in the one mode. They don't want titles. They just want to be, and because it's inside their DNA, they're expressing that already inside them. They have it in them. They're coming down with this energy, so they're already enlightened. It's people from my generation, the older souls, that we have to, fix those attributes or those brainwashing techniques that was put on us as children and change that so we can move forward and we could live more in harmony with the new frequency of what's really going on. So that separation is happening. There's no good and bad in it. It's going to look bad for the ones in the 3D because it's going to be competition. Who can have the most houses? Who can have the most money? And if you have the most money, you're better than the person who doesn't have, all that kind of thinking. And then at the fifth dimension, it's all about telepathy, unconditional love, living in harmony, farming properly, loving your animals. So the frequency in the meat, if you do have an animal and you have meat from the animals, they sacrifice their love so they could keep that chain of love going and giving you food. It's a chain. When the lion kills the gazelle freely gives their body because they know in the next incarnation they'll be the lion. It's a process. It's a circular movement of honor. Like in that movie Avatar, whenever they killed an animal, it was to eat, and they prayed and they thanked the animal for allowing them to be sacrificed so the avatars can eat. And that's real. That's the real deal. Eventually we have to get to a society that we don't hoard everything and knock all the trees down, that we live in harmony with nature so Mother Earth can thrive and live instead of having all these spots around the world where we're destroying her. That's why I think Mother Earth is really waking up now, because of the new energies coming in. We're going to see more disasters, more floods, and more stuff going on because she's not taking the shit anymore. That's just the way it is, because Mother Earth is a being. It's a sentient being, and the time is up. We're done with the density, and we're moving to a higher frequency and a higher way of living. And for those who are not understanding that, it's going to be a challenge for them. So the key ingredient is to work on yourself, love yourself, go inside, fix your shit. You want to save your surrounding, you want to save the world by fixing yourself, loving yourself, and dealing with your stuff. Then you could be fully balanced so you can co-create a good life outside yourself. Can't blame anybody or anything outside yourself. Go inside, and you may have lineage tragedies or personal tragedies. It'll surface. There's stuff that I'm dealing with that I thought I dealt with 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and it's coming back. And why that is, because as my frequency rises, I can't move to another level of frequency until I deal with that issue in another perspective. This is what I'm getting. I don't know the whole deal because I can't see it all, but this is what I'm feeling. So I had to go back to my little boy, my child inside of me, that little boy, and have conversations with it and love on it and release whatever pain that came my way so I can continually move up. And it's a balancing act, and it goes back and forth. It's a figure eight loop that's constantly flowing back and forth as you get a chance to look inside yourself to deal with your own issues. So we're moving into a beautiful time It's exciting and wonderful and amazing as it is for some people. It's scary and horrid and disgusting. But if you go inside, you decide where you want to be. You focus on the negative and how bad it's going, then that's what you're going to get. If you focus on creating balance, unconditional love, um, compassion, respect, that means every time you go out and you smile at someone at the grocery store, they're going to feel it. Now, they may not acknowledge it, but the energy is talking. So I know sometimes I feel like, damn, how come these people don't smile? But then my spirit says, don't worry about it. You're not here to keep count of who gets what. You're just here to be the best of who you can be. Just put it out there, and you don't even know how your energy can affect other people around you. So I ground every morning. I center myself every morning so I can set up my day. And lately, this past week, since coming from Glastonbury, I got to do it a few times a day because I'm still calibrating. Every day we were going to different sites, really taking in all kind of stuff. Tremendous amount of amazing energy we're taking in. So we really didn't have enough time to calibrate all that, and here we are. We come back home and this whole thing is just like, holy smokes, it's pretty crazy. So anyway, so the future is what you want to make it. You'll find your tribe. There may be people in your life that will break away from you because they don't see your way of being, and that's okay. You'll find your people, and just contemplate on love, unconditional love. At least for every hour of the day, at least a minute or two every day, think about unconditional love in the way you can. And for me, that works because that really keeps my mind in a real chill state, a real high frequency. So when I do run into a little challenge, I can recalibrate really fast. I don't get caught up with it, and get all messed up. That negative tape used to last for weeks on end. You stay upset about something in your subconscious. No, I let it go, so I can move forward and have a more fruitful life. So anyway, that's what I think. That's what I'm getting. So I hope you enjoy it. Look forward to meeting all you someday. I don't know, maybe this will get to a place where I'll be able to meet some of you people and have an experience. Maybe we'll learn from each other. So, any great. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you.